Welcome to the show today, The Instant Celebrity Maker, and today's guest is Michelle Taylor Willis. And I had the opportunity to chat with her before we started the show, and she's one of these ladies that balances a lot of plates at the same time, I would say. She is a mother, she talks about parenting, and she's a media expert, and she's also, I presume, goes to a great dentist because she's got a fantastic smile, and she's going to share with her expertise today about media buying and how she has earned this title. I would almost label her as a media queen. So please introduce yourself a little bit. Yeah, you didn't know I was going to rebrand you that fast, Michelle, but welcome to my show.
Oh gosh, thank you for having me, Mitch. That's so hilarious. I've been called lots of things. Media queen isn't one, but I like that title. I've been called Little Oprah, Oprah Jr.
Okay.
And Media Guru. None of which I feel like I've earned, but I'll take them all. But I love Media Queen. That's great.
Oh yeah, you can have fun with that and put a little crown on, and put a little,
I know.
put it on to say, claim it. Yeah,
That's right.
So how did you get into that? Because you mentioned you had started in publishing and then it evolved.
Yes, that's right. So about 6.5 years ago, a business partner and I bought a magazine that was hyper-focused and local in an area of Atlanta called South Fulton County. And so we bought this magazine that was a month old. It had only been in distribution for about a month. From a lovely woman. And we basically instantly started producing a magazine.
Physical magazine? Physical or digital?
Physical magazine.
Okay.
Yep. Physical. Yep. Yeah, people are very tactile. It's funny when we did that. A lot of my friends and mentors were like, "Are you sure you want a print publication?" But what we know is that hyper local luxury print works.
Absolutely.
People like to buy from their neighbors, right? Especially in these high affluent, very affluent and influential areas. And so just started with this magazine, my business partner and I, and then it ended up being just me. And I had a great magazine. We built it and we grew it. And one day I was on a radio show being interviewed. And the guy who interviewed me, who owned the station, was like, you should have your own radio show. And I was like, Mitch, I was like, oh my gosh, is this my big break? I'm going to get paid millions of dollars to have my own radio show. And he was like, no. I'm going to show you how to create content and build a revenue generating source around your likeness. And I was like, okay, great. And then all of a sudden I had a radio show that we sold ads against, right? Because that's what my company does. We create our own content and we sell ads against the content. Much like any network does, right? But you don't necessarily see it on our scale, right? We're a small business working for small businesses. And so that's how I got into the radio business. And then about a year after that, a friend of mine who was a media buyer was like, you should really look into adding billboards to this, right? You can expand and offer your clients a little bit more of a brand product. And I was like, oh, that's all right. I don't know anything about billboards. He's like, I'll teach you. And then you'll have a media company. And I was like, What's interesting about that, Mitch, is that I had started telling myself that I owned a media company, and I really didn't know what it meant. I just said, I own a billion-dollar media company. And all of these things started happening to where I went from publishing to medium, right? The multiple mediums. So about a year after the billboard thing happened, a friend of mine who was a producer with some heavy names, she helped quite a few talk shows get started in the industry. And she would always say, you should be on TV. You should have a TV show. I was like, all right. And in July of 2020, in the midst of a pandemic, she started with a new network, and she called me and said, listen, I'm pitching your show to my network. And I think they like it. I'll call you
I'll
back
call
in
you back in
2
2
days
days
and
and
let
let
you
you
know
know
whether you have a show.
And I was like,
literally,
that's how the conversation went.
I was like, a TV
I was
show?
like, a TV show?
She said, yeah.
She
And
said,
I was
yeah.
like,
And I was like, oh my gosh,
you're going to pay
you're
me
going to pay me
millions of
millions of
dollars
dollars
a
on
TV
a TV
show
show on your network?
And she was like,
And she was
no.
like, no.
But I'm going
But I'm
to
going to
teach
teach
you how to
you
sell
how to sell
ads,
ads,
you know.
you know.
And
And
that's how I
that's how I ended
ended
up
up
with
with
the media company.
Well, so you have a TV show now? Okay, and what network can we find you? Can't hear you, Michelle. You just went out.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
now?
Now I can. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, yeah,
Okay,
sorry about
yeah,
that.
sorry about that.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
the TV
so
show
the
is called
TV show called
According
According
to
to
Michelle.
Michelle,
And we
and we
interview
interview
national
national
influencers,
influencers,
celebrities,
celebrities,
politicians,
politicians, business
business owners.
owners,
And
and
it's
it's
streaming on the
streaming on the
VTV
VTV
network on
network
Amazon
on Amazon
Fire
Fire
Amazon
and
Fire.
and Roku.
Okay, Amazon Fire and VTV. V is in Victor.
VTV, yep, like
Yep, like
Victory
Victory
TV,
TV,
Victory
VTV
TV.
TV
network.
network.
Okay.
And you can just go on Amazon Fire and Roku,
and Roku
Okay.
and
and
add
add the channel.
and
And
you can scroll through and you can see.
And it's called Michelle's. What's it called?
It's called
It's
Michelle's
called
TV
TV
show.
show. No.
Close.
Close.
It's called
It's called
According
According
to
to
Michelle.
Michelle.
According to Michelle. Okay.
Yeah.
So that way people know how to
And-
see you. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And it's funny.
And it's funny.
Mitch, the
Mitch,
show
the
is
show is
called
called
According to Michelle, but it's really not about me at
all.
all.
It's
It's
a platform for other people
to
to
build their
build their
platforms,
platforms, basically.
Now, is this for local people or for national?
It's national.
It's national.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's national. So it's okay. So it
yeah,
plays in
yeah.
every market because I know you can buy advertising, and people don't even know this with the Wall Street Journal on a regional basis. You don't have
Yep.
to buy the whole publication. So
right.
with this,
That's right.
it's national. It's not specific.
It's national.
It's national. It's not specific now.
And
Yeah.
we
And we
actually
actually
on a TV show, we embed the ads into the show.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Well, how would your friends describe you?
Oh
Oh
gosh.
gosh.
My friends,
My friends would describe me as crazy,
Okay.
loud,
Okay.
in a good
in
way.
a good way, I think.
Sure. Sure.
Insightful, thoughtful, funny,
comedic,
disciplined,
Okay.
strategic,
intentional. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. And
An
an
executor.
executor.
all right. And what is your greatest accomplishment?
My 4 children.
My 4 children.
4
My
kids.
My
Greatest
4 greatest accomplishments.
Wow. 4 kids and a husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a husband.
And a
who
husband
would be
who
maybe
would
my
be maybe
fifth.
my 5th.
Okay, well that's well men are kids. That's very good, astutely stated, accurately stated. I'm sure.
Maybe he
should be my first greatest accomplishment.
Okay.
Because without him, I would have
the
the
latter
latter
four,
4, right?
Got it. Yeah, he participated in that production.
He did.
Okay.
did.
Okay.
He
Well,
did.
that's good to know. All right. And what do you wish you had known when you started out? And this is a bit of I'm going to give you some latitude here in terms of your response.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a great question. I get asked that question often, and I feel like my answer might change every time it changes, depending on what I'm going through at the time, right? One of the things I wish I'd known is
to buy property early.
Oh.
Yeah. The best investment on earth is earth. And so I wish I'd been known to be more intentional about investing in real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what are you curious about right now?
What the next
3 years is going to look like.
Give us a little more information than that. Meaning, look like in terms of our political environment, meaning COVID, meaning your kids' baseball game.
Yeah. So the next 3 years in terms of like my circle and my influence, right? I'm interested to see how my kids are going to develop. They're in this, kind of preteen teenager phase, and I'm really watching them begin to grow, turn into these young adults, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And so I often am curious about what they're going to look like in the next 3 to 5 years. And
Okay.
what their careers are.
I
I also
know
know
that
that
we
we
have
have
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
big
big
things
things
coming
coming
in the
in the
media
media
company,
company,
and my
and my
personal
personal
brand
brand
is
is
beginning
beginning
to,
to, kind of
develop at a
develop at a
very
very
quick rate.
quick rate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm
And so I'm
curious
curious
to
to
know
know
what I
what
might
I
look
might
like,
look
what my
like, what my
company might
company
look
might
like.
look like.
I know what I
I
have
know
in
what I
my
have in
head,
my head,
right?
right?
And I know
And I know
what we're
what we're
planning.
planning.
But I'm
But I'm
curious to
curious
see
to
how it's
see how
going
it's
to
going to
manifest.
manifest.
Does
Okay.
that make
Does that
sense?
make sense?
Sure. And tell us something you failed at.
Oh gosh.
Oh gosh.
I mean, I failed at getting my camera right
camera
this
right
morning.
this morning.
Okay. Minor stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
failed
fail
consistently.
consistently.
Good for you.
I failed at
Good for you.
yeah.
And I mean that with
But
intention.
I love
failing
failing
because
because
I love
because
it means
it
I've
means I've
tried and
tried and I've
I've
learned
learned
like
what
what
hasn't
hasn't
worked,
worked,
and then
it gives me
an
an
opportunity to
opportunity to
perfect
perfect
pivoting,
pivoting.
right?
Right.
So I
So
fail
I
at
feel like
deciding,
deciding,
what might be the
what might
best
be the
products
best
and
products and
services
services
for my
for my
clients
clients
are, right?
are,
I
right?
have
I
these
have
great
these great
ideas, and I'm like,
ideas, and
this
I'm
is
like, this is
awesome, it's going to
awesome, it's
work,
going to
and it's
work,
like
and it's like
it falls
it
flat.
falls flat.
I fail
I
at
fail at
sometimes knowing
sometimes
why things
knowing
don't
why
work,
things don't work.
right?
Okay.
I think
I
it's
think
because
it's
of this,
because of
and it
this,
ends
and
up
it ends up
being
being
because of that.
because of that.
Um,
Um,
I fail
I
at
fail at
deciding
deciding
what's
what's
priority.
priority.
Yeah, I mean, every day
Every
I
day I
fail at
fail at
something.
something.
But the
But the
beautiful thing
beautiful thing
is,
is,
Mitch,
Mitch,
is that
is that
I
I
succeed
succeed
more than I
more than
fail.
I
And a
fail.
lot of
And a lot
times
of
that
times
just
that just
means
means
turning the
turning the
failures
failures
into
into
successes, if
successes.
that
If
makes
that makes
sense.
sense.
Oh, you've got to fail your way to success sometimes.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
And
believe
I
in
believe in
significance. I talk
significance. I
about
talk
this a
about this
lot,
a lot.
significance and the
Significance and
difference
the difference
between
between
success
success
and
and
significance,
significance,
right?
right?
And so
And
my
so my
goal
goal
really
really
is
is
significance.
significance.
Success to me
Success to me
doesn't
doesn't
mean
mean
much.
much.
Significance, leaving an imprint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
success
success
is
is
about
about
what our
what
inner
our
circle
inner
looks like
circle
and
looks
how
like
we
and how we
affect that.
affect
Like,
that.
right,
Like, right,
I've
I've
arrived. I've
arrived.
got
I've got
a
a
great
great
job
job
and
and
2.5 kids
two and a half
and a
kids
nice
and a nice
house
house and
and
White
career
picket
good,
fence.
career's good
Yeah.
and
husband,
husband,
white
white
picket
picket
fence,
fence,
and me and
me and my
my
circle
and I are
and I are
good.
good.
Significance
Significance
is
is
stepping
stepping
outside of
outside
that
of that
and
and
empowering
empowering
people
people
that you may or
that
may
you
not
may or may
know
not know
to
to
empower
empower
other
other
people.
people.
Right? It's
Right?
this
It's this
rollover
rollover and
success of
success of
this
this
rollover of
rollover of
success.
success.
And
And
significance
significance
really
really
is, to your
is, to
point,
your
the
point, the
imprint.
imprint.
Okay. Now, my favorite question that I ask in every interview is if you could have coffee with any historical figure, who would you choose? Now, the caveat, Michelle, is the person must be passed on. No longer with us.
I think
I
it,
think it,
I think
I
it
think
would
it
be
would be
W.E.B.
W.E.B.
Du Bois.
Du Bois.
Because you speak French fluently. You pronounced that correctly. Okay. Tell me about this person.
Because
he
he
was
obviously,
like one of the most influential
Black
Black
Americans that lived.
His words are still
so poignant and relevant today. And I would be interested to know like where his insight, where his thoughtfulness, where his understanding of Black people and white
people
and the engagement back then was
was
like,
like,
and how
and
it's
how it's
paralleled
paralleled
to
how we're
living
living
today.
today.
When did he live? I'm not very familiar. I've heard his name, but I don't know his significance. For example, I'll have to look him up after. W.E. Du Bois?
Yeah.
W.E.B.
Du Bois. Mhm.
Okay, I'll have to look him up to learn, but tell me, when was he alive?
Gosh,
1800s?
Oh, 1800s. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard him, but I just don't remember exactly what he contributed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so W.E.
He was a writer. He was intellect. He was a thought leader.
Way before his time.
He was
Okay.
way before
his time.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll have to look him up. And now let's bring it present. Ideally, or hopefully, this person's still alive. But who's been your most important professional mentor? You mentioned mentors earlier, so I thought, okay, let's pick on one.
Well, I could be kind of really cheesy in this and say my mom, right?
Okay.
And sound cliche.
Yep.
So I can give you a couple. But the reason I say my mom is because I really believe that how I interact or how I operate as a professional and as a business owner comes from the values and the lessons and the teachings that I saw my mom do, but also that she verbally taught me.
Okay.
Right. My mom was a business owner, still is, and I watched her create and build business as a young child, as a teenager, as an early adult, and now as a late adult, I guess. And so a lot of the things I did with business stem from what she taught me, officially and unofficially. And that's just it may sound cheesy or cliche, but it's true.
Okay. Well, then let's give mom her due. It sounds like you got to give her her due. All right. If you could go back to your 18-year-old self, what advice would you give a young Michelle? I don't know if you were married back then or you'd even met your husband, but let's just go back to
it. It was only 5 years ago. So I remember it.
Of course. I knew that. I knew you were just 23. I knew it. You're so mature for 23. Yeah.
Thank you.
You don't look a day over 23 and a half. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Is my nose growing? There we go.
Just a little.
Okay. But what would you tell your 18-year-old self?
That's a really good question. Well, invest in real estate right now.
Got it.
Be intentional with who gets your time and why they get it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Surround yourself.
Wait a minute. Before you move on that, that's key. Be intentional with who you give your time to.
That's right. And why?
Who and why gets your time? Who?
That's right.
Why gets your time? Oh, that's valuable because I echo that. Okay, because today is gone after today.
That's right.
And there's nothing more valuable. Maybe it's because I'm getting up there in years too, but that's sage advice right there.
The time is our most valuable resource.
Oh yeah, I hated hearing that when I was young, but it is so true.
It's so true. And the thing is, like, we can make more money. I can't make more time. And it's like you and Mitch. I'm sure you've been in situations where something happens and you're like, oh my gosh, like it's 10 minutes of my life. I can't get back.
Yes.
Right? And when you're in a position like you are, like I am,
mm-hmm.
every second counts. I mean, when I leave this interview with you, I've got to be at a fitting at Dillard's and meet my fashion stylist and be back at the studio to be on set. I mean, I don't have any time to waste. Zero.
Got it. No, I get you.
Yeah.
So let's talk, not to waste time. So what is your plan to achieve your goals? Let's just do this over the next 2 years. Because I don't like these 5-year goals because due to COVID, everything changed so quickly and immediately gave most of us a major pivot. So let's just talk on the 2-year horizon. What is your plan to achieve your 2-year goals?
So my biggest plan is to continue to make sure that I have key people in place to achieve my goals. Right? That's the first thing. Actually, the first thing would be the why. To consistently be focused.
Okay? Key people in focus. All right. And then how do you overcome a challenge? Because with 4 kids, I know you've had a challenge or 2. Well, actually 5, as you mentioned.
Can you hear me? I lost you for just a second.
If you had to overcome a challenge that life throws at you, how do you overcome that?
How do I overcome challenges? I sit in the moment for a second. I think it's okay to understand like that things that we don't like are happening to us. Like this is bad. I think what happens is that people just kind of want to not absorb the moment, good or bad, right?
Okay.
Right. And so I sit in the moment for a second. All right, this is a challenge, and understand that this is a challenge. This is either something that I've brought on myself, or something that's happening as a manifestation of something else.
Okay.
So the first thing is to understand what the challenge is and why it's there. And then to figure out a plan, to put together a plan, I reverse engineer. So I think about again the why, like what's the end game.
Okay.
And I back myself into where I am right now. So I know what this is. In order for that to happen, I got to do this. In order for that to happen, I got to do this. In order for that to happen, I got to do this. And then I'm back at this challenge, right? And so that's usually how I move past challenges.
Okay. Now, if you had to write a book tomorrow, what would you write about? Now, I know you've already written a parenting book, so that's in the past. Let's talk about new. What would you do tomorrow?
Sales.
Oh. Write a book on sales. Okay. Well, that's good. So you sell well for your platform. All right. Good. Now you've got me curious.
My life is sales.
Got it. Yeah. So you live it.
And your life is sales probably too, Mitch.
Oh, pretty much.
Everybody's in sales.
You better believe that or you're in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah. And
that's what the book would be about.
Yeah. What's one question you wish I'd asked you, and what would you have said? So you have the opportunity now for me to ask you a question that wasn't in the prearranged questions to cover.
If you asked me what's my favorite thing about my children?
Okay, Michelle, what's your favorite thing about your children? And you can include your husband.
Their creativity, and their independence, and their tenacity, and this ability to be unafraid of risk.
Okay.
And rejection. They're just like they're not perfect, right? They're four boys.
Oh my gosh.
But
5 boys.
They are more 5 boys. Yeah. But they're just more. They're the most amazing. They're better humans than I could ever. On my best day, my children are better than me. And again, it doesn't mean they're perfect. They're still kids. But they're just awesome.
Okay. And how do you, I'm very curious how you're going to respond to this. How do you promote your personal and company brand? What do you do? Now, you work with clients, but how does Michelle promote herself?
Yeah. So again, I'm reverse engineer, right? So I know exactly what I'm playing for, why I'm playing for it. And so every single thing that I put out there, or my team puts out there on my behalf, falls under this umbrella of whatever that brand is.
Okay.
Right. And so we use socials to do that. LinkedIn, Instagram, a lot. And again, it's all about what this umbrella this brand is and how it falls under the umbrella. Websites, obviously, and then appearances. So I brand myself live. I host events. I MC events. I do fundraising for nonprofits. But everything falls under this. Like I said, umbrella brand, which is empowering people to empower people.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting about when you talk your Gagnant media, sorry to jump in here, but it's so true, is you started out embracing traditional media, not the newer platforms necessarily. You talked about a TV show. A lot of people, let's say under 30, have never watched TV, I find interesting. You know,
Traditional TV, yeah.
yeah, traditional TV that I grew up on, and you might have, you know, you kind of transition. I know there's a little bit of an age difference here. I know you're only 23, but
Thank you.
seeing, yes, yeah, okay, yeah, and I'm 30, and the TV, TV
Wait
is
a
such a.
minute.
Hey, wait a second. That's right, but it's interesting that the traditional still works very, very well, and print works. While I suspect
right.
it's going to phase out over, you know, the next 10 years, like the traditional newspapers and so forth. But I still think it has incredible
It's all
value.
about how you use it, right?
Because I think
Because
it's
I think it's a mixture of
the old
the
with
old
the
with
new.
the
I mean,
new.
people are very tactile. They like to
Sure.
touch things, right?
Yes,
But we
I
have
do.
But we have a digital component of the magazine, right?
TV,
It's
TV that you can, put on a big TV, but it's not big box TV, right?
It's on streaming networks and OTT, right? Which is this
new wave of
TV.
My
good friend of mine, Reggie, actually used this term
basically
to say it's not about
if people can see you when you're on TV.
It's like, can they see you when you're off,
right?
Right.
And have access to you on demand all the time.
Radio,
right? I don't use traditional radio.
It's
internet radio,
right?
Right.
Streaming
radio.
So
it's these traditional mediums
with
relevance today.
Got it. So how can I support you? I know you want to, if people want to buy traditional ads, either on a national or a local basis, Gant, I'm going to let you use your French and tell us where this name comes from.
So
Gagnant Media. I'm fine with people saying Gagnant.
Gagnant
means the winner.
The Winter Media, okay.
Which
that's right.
Which I am, and all of my clients are as well. We're all winners, right?
We should be. And so,
if you're interested in any of that, please check out our website, gagnantmedia.com.
And you can schedule an appointment through the
site.
You can also find me
at Michelle Taylor Willis
on
just about everything. Michelle Taylor Willis on LinkedIn,
Instagram,
Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, let me spell Gagnant Media for the people who are audio only. GAGNANT Media, MEDIA.com. So they can understand, because I wouldn't know how to spell that without it. But yeah, just so they know, GAGNANTMEDIA.com. Well, how's your experience been on the show, other than our technical challenges?
I love it.
I think you're a gracious host.
I appreciate you guys finding me and inviting me to come out or come on, I should say. And bearing with me through my technical challenges this morning.
No problem.
I enjoyed the conversation.
And thank you
for your kind words.
And what would you say is your final word, Michelle?
Tell yourself who you are
before you
ever become that person.
And surround yourself with people who are smarter than you that can help you execute on that person.
This has been another great show with Michelle Taylor Willis. And I want to summarize my big takeaway. And sometimes I get great gems, and this is a fantastic one as it applies to me, and it can to others if they embrace this reality of be intentional. Who and why gets your time? Because, folks, I'm now an official senior citizen. It does matter who gets my time, because there's a limited resource of it. And that is a very powerful statement that you made. And I would say that I'm going to write this down and use it as a quote and give you credit for it as one of those pieces, because I think it's important. And I do recognize where I get my great quotes, because that was a great one, Michelle. So thank you for your time today.
No, thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for having me.
All right.